Hello and welcome to the first episode of Yaz Hub Headlines. So today's first story is the unfortunate news of the attack on Israel. This surprise attack happened on Saturday the 7th of October, which came a day after the 50th anniversary of the surprise attack by Egypt and Syria on Israel back in 1973. And this was all incorporated in the Hamas group's plan. And they are one of two political groups in Palestinian territories. They pretty much rule the Gaza Strip, and so they've ploughed down the barrier between the border of Israel and Gaza, as well as sending paragliders over with guns and entering by the sea as well. Unfortunately, around 260 people were killed at the Nova Tribe Music Festival, who, with it being in southern Israel, were unfortunately just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Hamas is backed and funded by Iran, who provide all the training and weapons to the group. More than 200 million people live in the Gaza Strip. It's only 25 miles long and 6 miles wide, and it's the most highly densely populated area in the world. Let's get on to the next story today, which is about a dog. Some good news. Well, kind of. A six-legged pup has been found in a B&M car park in the Pembroke dock of Pembrokeshire. The pup was taken to a rescue centre in the area where it was checked over by Fenton Vet Group and is happy, healthy. She's been called Ariel because apparently her two hind legs, with the extra legs joined, resemble that of a mermaid tail. So they named her after the Little Mermaid. Essentially, the thigh bone is split into two shin bones at the knee joint, and that's how she's got six legs, but the two extra legs have zero function, and £2,000 has actually been raised to surgically remove the extra legs, but vets fear that it could mean the loss of one of her normal functioning legs. So we're not quite sure whether the pup will have surgery or just live with little flapping limbs around. As long as she's happy and healthy. Kids under 15 years of age will never be able to smoke. Well, not legally, because they won't be able to legally buy cigarettes. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has announced a year-on-year increase in the legal smoking age. What that means is 14-year-olds, when they get to 18, the legal age to buy cigarettes will then be 19, and then by the time they're 19, the legal age will be 20, so they'll never be able to do it. I reckon there's going to be black markets with dodgy tobacco, which I personally wouldn't want to smoke. I just can't see it working. But at least the streets might look a bit cleaner. A female British Muslim fashion designer has turned heads at London Fashion Week as she made her debut showing off streetwear with inspiration from her traditional Yemeni roots. Her clothes were displayed on mannequins at the entrance of the show, and the audience were also handed traditional Yemeni tea and biscuits. That sounds like an audience I wish I'd been part of. Doja Cat's songwriter Lyndon J says that AI can be used as a tool but shouldn't replace writing an entire song. Aaron Horn is co-writer of Woman, which won Song of the Year at the BMI London Awards, agrees that AI can help fill in the gaps where writers might experience a blockage in creativity. Other songwriters also support the movement towards using AI as a tool for songwriting. However, many say they don't want to be made dependent on AI as they feel they may lose their creativity in the craft. And it also can't process human emotion, which a lot of songwriters feel is why their songs prove successful. And what do you think about AI being used as a tool? Let me hear your thoughts in the comments. As a journalist in Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire, whoop whoop, this one's about Alton Towers, where I was lucky enough to be invited to Scarefest to have a go on the 4 new scare mazes at the resort. They're pretty scary. So my boyfriend and I asked staff there which maze he thought was the scariest, and we were told that it was the Altonville Mining Tour's Tiny's Revenge. Now, I would have said, let's go on this last. It's the scariest. But my boyfriend was like, no, let's go on the scariest first. So, unprepared, we went to the mining tours. We were greeted by some sheriffs who were pretty quirky and said some stuff about some teenagers going missing in the mines. And, well, when we were in there, we were at the front and we pretty quickly lost the entire group we'd gone on with. It was basically pitch black in there, and all I felt was someone grab my wrist and pull me that way. Luckily I was holding my boyfriend's hand, which he didn't want because my palms were that sweaty. He wanted to let go, but snowballs and hell's chance of that happening. Anyway, when we finally saw some people, we were then diverted off down a different path alone again, and eventually met up with other people. During this time, you've got people in like gas masks and boiler suits, these crazy possessed teenagers, and sheriffs running around and jumping out at you and literally making me jump out my skin. And this one is definitely not for claustrophobic people because some of the tunnels are pretty tight and you have to crouch down to get through some of them. So yeah, it really is not for the faint-hearted. The next one we went on was the attic, which is in the towers, in Alton Towers. I feel like that sounded completely daft, but if you know Alton Towers, then you know what I mean. It's the big mansion-y building in the middle of the resort. Anyway, that one was about kids, little ghost kids, who were haunting this manor because, well, they were murdered inside it, allegedly. There were all these scary little kids jumping out and doing weird things with their arms and limbs, which was terrifying. Did not like it. It was freaky. And one of them said she'd like my hair as a wig. Then I saw loads of like heads, like doll's head things that you see in a hairdressing salon with people's scalped heads on. Obviously, I know it's fake, but I still was shitting myself because they're really good at what they do. If you don't like walking, this one might not be for you because you'll literally have to go up about 30 stairs, if not more. I didn't count, but there's a lot of stairs and you have to go back down them at the end. The third maze we went on was The Invitation. Now this was incredible. It was an audio-led experience and you were in total pitch black. You'd seen when you went in there was a cage, a really thin, horrible cage thing in the middle. We'd gone down an elevator to get there, and the actress there, massive shout out, she was brilliant. She was so odd but in a friendly and just a perfect way for the role she was playing, so kudos to her, especially because my boyfriend kept sticking his tongue out and stuff and trying to make all the actors laugh, and none of them broke, so well done to all the actors at Alton Towers because you didn't crack under my boyfriend. So, it was an audio-led experience in the pitch black. We all were given these headphones and it was really creepy because I don't know if any of you will remember the hairdressing audio clip from over 10 years ago now, it's got to be. And you could hear a barber walking around you with the clippers. Well, it was like that, only with vampires, and there was wet that every time it bit into someone's neck, I felt wet all over my hands and sometimes face, which I really hope was water. The final maze, which was probably the least scary, was the Darkest Depths maze. It stunk of cheese in there at first, which I think was intentional. I think it's supposed to play on your senses and stuff. I don't know. But it was horrible smelling. Still enjoyed it though. And I also got to try out the Daz Games Panic Room, which is an AI generated escape room maze. You get a wristband, you scan it, you have to memorise 2 symbols, pink symbols, you can just scan your wristband once you're in the maze. White ones, you have to do like a little mini game challenge thing for the symbol to turn pink, so you can then scan it and then exit. It's a timed challenge. You've got 7 minutes to do it, and there are live actors in there. They do touch you, they grab you, they will try and stop you from going in. Well, not from going in, but from completing and scanning your wrist. That was incredible. Never known anything like it. I had 2 goes because I'm dead competitive, and there was a bullseye. The first round, my boyfriend got the bullseye, couldn't find it, time was up. Second one, same again, couldn't find the timer, time was up. Sorry, couldn't find the bullseye. If any of you have been and you have got the bullseye and you know where it is, please tell me in the comments because I would love to know. Anyways, guys, that's Yaz Hub Headlines for today. See you again very soon. Bye-bye.